But I was gonna say, like, did we talk about your star? You talked about
Oh,
your
I didn't. You're right. You know what?
and the
Let's go back.
Dudds.
That's right. Oh my God, I'm getting so ahead of myself. Look at me.
I was like, you want to be humble real bad.
I got a good one. I got a good one, and you'll like it.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, my star definitely is Cordell Patterson. Ever since especially last year, he definitely stepped into the team, and he definitely filled a big hole. It's no surprise that Atlanta really lacks running backs when considering the last really good running back we had was Devontae Freeman, who I was personally sad to see go because I think he really balled out, especially during that Super Bowl in 2015. But it's crazy that what kind of seasons he's already having, considering that Cordell Patterson is ranked number 3 right now in rushing. So it's something to be said that he ran 141 yards, got 1 touchdown. And I hope he continues. The way it's kind of seeing right now is it's just going to trend in the positive direction regardless. I think that at the very least, we'll get another at least season to 2 seasons of him. And hopefully we can get some support in that running game, which it looks like Tyler Algier is doing that, but he's still young, and I don't expect too much from him as of right now, regardless. But he's a stud, and he's awesome. And I know there's been a comparison that they think that Deebo Samuel is like a better version of Cordell Patterson, but I think the complete opposite, especially with Cordell Patterson's age. He's phenomenal, and he's definitely an asset to our team that is still rebuilding during these phases. So that's
What
my
is
star.
the primal age of
I don't know. You know what? I think it really depends. And I think like beforehand, it would be something like around maybe like 35 personally. But it's really, really tough to say. So because you look at Tom Brady
depending
and
on
Tom
injuries
Brady,
and stuff?
yeah, like Tom Brady, he definitely went and he, broke the norm, right? You have Tom Brady who's playing, I believe, at what, 41, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's an older guy and he's still easily a top tier quarterback. But then you look at, what happened with what's his face in Indy. Wasn't Love, wasn't Luck. Andrew Luck, that's his name. Andrew Luck.
Mm.
He only played, I think, for like a season, and then he was done because he didn't want to damage up his body, right? So it's really tough to say. But the way it's kind of trending is if you stay healthy, you take care of yourself. Who's to say you can't play until your 40s, personally? So I
True.
don't think there's a real answer for that, Nicole, to be
True.
honest.
Okay. I'm a learner.
That's just me. I don't know. People can go in the comments, can go and definitely change my opinion on that. And for everybody that is commenting, make sure that you do allow StreamYard to see your name, or else we're just going to see random Facebook users. So if you want to see your comment and your name on the show, then absolutely do that, please. So what about your duds, Nicole?
My dad's was Winston. I'm sorry. 25 for 41 with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
I do think though that he needs to get his confidence back. I know it's in there. I do want to be a fan. I am a fan of the Saints. So like I want to see those come back and that fierceness that we have in overcoming some of the things that we have to do with challenges, with back injuries. But I know that he's not playing at his best. That's why I don't know. I have a soft spot for like if you're injured, I don't see you, even if they do say, you're not feeling 100%, you know? So that I feel like sometimes does factor in to missing practices, like even missing practice. That's a huge thing. Now what I've learned is that, yeah, I guess these guys practice on Wednesdays and Thursdays to prep for the game, and how important it is to get that feel with your team for, going to those practices. And like if you're injured or you're in and out and stuff like that, I feel like you're missing out on half of the team participation.
Yeah. I know we're talking about the NFC South, but just to kind of go in correlation to what you're saying too, what happened with Tua in Miami? Did you watch that game or did you see that play when he got up?
No.
So
Was
definitely go
this the
check it out.
butt?
Huh?
Was this the football
No,
in the
no,
butt?
no, no, no.
Okay.
So to give you this short, and by all means, everybody go check it out on YouTube. I'm sure it's everywhere. But Tua got absolutely leveled, and he stood up, and as he stood up, he fell right back down. But he was deemed that he was fine to go back into the game because they have that concussion protocol and everything where they go and evaluate the people and so on and so forth. But um, it definitely makes you question if it needs to be reevaluated. Just seeing how much of a struggle he had going back up, so it is something to be said, right? Because the last thing you want to do is, as much as we want our team to win, we are people first, right? And you don't want to see anybody get injured. You want people to have long and successful careers because they did dedicate their lives to doing this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important that we take the time to just ask ourselves, are they okay? And really take a step back and rely on the team. Just you're not just a one-man person. Sure, Tua, you're having a great season. Sure, Winston, you're not having too bad of a start right now, but
Mm-hmm.
you need to stay healthy. You need to make sure you're okay, and don't be selfish. Let the team take care of everything else while you take care of yourself. So I think that's really important.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised that they were even going to start him with Carolina. I was thinking, Andy Dalton would come in and I would, give him a breather and
Was
stuff.
a good
But
quarterback. Like Andy Dalton
yeah,
has played and started many games, so I don't see the issue with that. Like he easily could have filled that role.
yeah. So he is in London. Winston is in London. So he's there. But again, he hasn't been really participating in the practice. Like I said, also too, practice is so important. And if you're like injured or you're like trying to save it for the game, but you're missing out on practice, it's a little hard. But yeah, he's there too. So, but there is still. We'll get into it later for our predictions.
Did he sit out practice?
I have it down here that he was there in London, but that Andy Dalton ended up going and being on the primary for practice
Okay.
on one of the two practices. But that he is there and that they are still kind of trying. It's going to come down to the wire, but I really do think that I think they're going to be running Andy Dalton.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what? I definitely won't talk too much on that because we'll save that for the last segment too. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I don't see an issue with that. I know for Cordarrelle Patterson, as much as he balled out, they rested him, not necessarily because he's injured, but you know, he's a veteran considered on the team, especially with a new team on the Falcons. So they don't want to overwork him, and that's a smart thing to do. And that's kind of what I was going to hope they were going to do for Winston. But as long as he's healing and he's recovering, that's good. I want to see him do well as much as possible. But yeah, my dud is a tough one. And I'll explain a little bit why. So the Atlanta defense as a whole, I consider it as a dud. Um,
Oh.
Now the reason why I'm considering this is tough is it is a combination of Atlanta allowing Seattle to score 23 points, but also Geno Smith balled out. He had a really good game, and that's the thing is, especially me having him in fantasy as like my super flex, which is it was good this week finally, so I was pretty happy about that. But yeah, we need to
Hmm.
get better in that sense. Like we're not going to keep. We can try as much as possible to keep in these games offensively, but that's the one thing that the Bucks again are doing right is that defense is really strong. Um, do what you have to do. Don't get the penalties, which we did a lot better in this game. Not getting
Hmm.
penalties, so we weren't giving up that much yards in that. And when it did really come down to it, and we did have sacks. I believe it was. Oh my gosh, I know Grady Jarrett got a sack because he's had now, I think, like something like a career high sacks against the Seattle Seahawks.
Hmm.
And I think it was Rashawn Evans also. He also got a sack too. So, um, yeah, it's getting better, and I see the defense starting to align. But again, we we need to come together as a team. There is a lot of good that's going on right now with Atlanta, but yeah, we really, really, really need to focus on not allowing those first downs. So that would be mine. That's kind of a tough one.
Once your defense starts getting into it, it could almost turn into a scary situation where then they're becoming an offensive defense with
Yeah.
being people, getting scared of the fumble, and then that's when it's
Yeah, and it's true. Like the one thing that I say the Buccaneers do very well, and I'm sure you can attest to this, is just the fact that they're able to force fumbles, right? Like they have a really
yeah.
good defensive line for that. And, especially in those critical moments, it really matters, right? Like, sure, they lost this week to the Packers, right, in a close game. But at the same time, like, their defense kept them in the game. And there's nothing to be said that the Bucs did anything necessarily wrong this week, considering they really have a depleted line. But the Green Bay Packers are the real deal. And they really are. They have Aaron Rodgers. He's good. And there's they've had a good defense for a while. And really, who does Aaron Rodgers have to throw to, in all fairness?
The ground. No, I'm kidding.
All right. So,
Yeah.
it's I don't know. Like, what do you think?
With their team?
Yeah,
With
what's your view on the Bucs? I guess we don't have our
uh
fellow ginger here, so
uh Julio's still out.
it's
That's but I also know I was actually concerned for their team in a different regards of understanding of with the hurricane coming down and stuff like that
yeah.
and
Pray for
realizing
Florida.
yeah, and how they even I know that they went to practice in Miami to avoid it and stuff, but to continue on, and showing brave face. And then also too, I saw abundance of pour out and support from the team to their community, which I thought was really great.
That's huge.
Um, so that is the offside, off off the field news that I know about Tampa Bay.
They had
So
a contingency plan too, I'm pretty sure, didn't they? I don't
yeah,
remember
they were going to go to Minnesota
Yeah.
if in case because they're going to be playing us in London. So
Okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's crazy times with because what that was Hurricane Ian, I think that was hitting Florida, and then at the same time, Hurricane Fiona is hitting I guess what is that considered? The southeast of Canada too, right? I believe so.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's tough times. If you got any family in Florida or any family in, I guess, Eastern Canada, definitely reach out. They probably need it right now. There's from what I've seen of the videos and the pictures and everything, it's pretty critical. And some families are definitely going to go through some serious debt. So I always say give back where you can, especially when family is really what matters. So
For sure.
something to point
100.
out there. But
Yes,
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.